everyone, and welcome to another episode of Out of the Fog. I'm your host, Laurabel Mba, and I'm so excited to join you for today's episode. I get the opportunity to chat with Carolyn Wakeman, who is the CEO of NLOWE. I also get the chance to talk to author and consultant Erin Snow about her book, All the Things You Can See Underneath the Labrador Sea. So sit back, relax, and we'll get right to it. Welcome back, everyone. I'm now joined by Carolyn Wakeman, who is the CEO of NLOWE, also known as the Newfoundland and Labrador's Women Entrepreneurship Organization. Thank you so much for joining me, Carolyn.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.
So I'm so pumped because I get to be a member of NLOWE, but NLOWE does so many cool things. But you are also new in the role of CEO. So for our folks who are maybe just getting used to what NLOWE is or don't know about NLOWE, what is NLOWE?
Yeah, so as you said, NLOWE is the Newfoundland and Labrador Organization of Women Entrepreneurs. So the organization has been around for over 25 years, and we're a provincial organization that helps women start, grow, and advance in business. Okay. So throughout the province, we have business advisors that provide one-on-one advisory services to women in different stages of business. We offer a lot of professional development, both in person and virtual offerings. We have a very strong community. We're very big on networking and mentoring and making those connections for women throughout the province. We have wonderful community partners and corporate partners that provide professional services for women that are looking to grow their business knowledge and their business acumen. So we have a lot of things on the go, and our organization now, it's the first time ever. Last summer we reached over 600 members. Thank you. And it's just been growing every day since. So it's, I've been in this role for about 5 months, and it's been very busy, but it's been very exciting, and I'm just looking forward to the new opportunities that we have this year in particular.
So what is it about this role in this organization that appeals to you?
So I've been in the entrepreneurial ecosystem for about 20 years, in different capacities, but mostly in financial services. So I spent a lot of time in small business and commercial banking, working with entrepreneurs, and never thought that was going to be my career, but that's where I ended up, and I loved it, and I spent 17 years doing that and worked with a lot of businesses in the province in different capacities. So from that, just kind of expanded my reach into the ecosystem just by doing some mentoring, getting involved with different organizations that offer business supports. And NLOWE was always there, and it was always an organization that I was drawn to in my different career. And when an opportunity came up to make a career transition, I took that opportunity, so I haven't looked back since.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're really glad to have you as a member who gets to avail of your awesome brain.
Thanks.
So for our viewers who are watching right now who are like, I have a business, but I'm not sure if NLOWE's for me, especially for the women and gender diverse individuals who are like, I'm having a hard time in the normal business ecosystem. Why NLOWE?
So NLOWE is for everyone. We know that women, gender diverse folks experience different barriers, in different capacities, and starting a business is one of those. So NLOWE is that a starting point. If you don't know, there's a lot of supports in the ecosystem, different business planning supports, and trying to navigate those is a challenge in itself. So NLOWE is that touch point, that main touch point. So if you have a connection there, we have so many resources and so many people that we can help you navigate with when that gets daunting, when you're trying to focus on your idea and getting that done. That's why like an organization like NLOWE exists.
So you're meeting entrepreneurs and women and gender diverse entrepreneurs where they are. They don't need to have it all together.
No, nobody has it all together. You don't.
Thank you.
No.
I'm so glad you say that. It's like, I can breathe a little bit easier now, Carolyn.
No, you do not have to have everything packaged up and ready to come. Like, we get so many different levels of inquiries, just wondering what supports are out there. And people from all kinds of different backgrounds, people maybe who haven't been in the workforce for a few years, or someone who are looking at making a big transition, or who see an opportunity that they want to capitalize on. So it's, a broad spectrum.
So there's a super cool thing that you folks do, which is a great way for people who are even curious about what being part of NLOWE could look like, and that is your conference.
Yes.
So, okay, are you willing to like dish the dirt?
Yes, I can spill some tea on, on that right now. So NLOWE has, I mean, we have programming throughout the year. If you look at our schedule of events, we are constantly offering, different opportunities for, business services or networking. But we have 2 signature events. So this year, in the spring, we always have an annual conference. So this year, it's at April 10th and 11th at the St. John's Convention Center. So this conference is 2 full days of professional development, connections, and networking. We bring in some keynote speakers. We have a trade show. It's just a very welcoming, positive, energetic environment that we try to create. And we welcome, over 200 women from all over the island, as well as like community partners as well.
Okay. So for those who are listening now, who are like, so this conference thing, I want to attend. What are some key things that they can know? Like, I know you've announced one of your speakers.
Yes,
for sure.
we did. Yep.
Okay.
So we try. The format is generally the same, but we always try to add some features just to make it, a bit more formal connections, right? So people aren't, a little bit apprehensive about meeting new people. So usually we try to kick it off with an opening speaker, and this year it's Kate Davis. So she's a Canadian stand-up comedian, author, producer. She's been on The Debaters, CBC's The Debaters. So she comes at it with, her message is, not to take yourself too seriously, and look for that, humor and balance in life. And so we're really hoping that her talk is going to kind of set the tone for the next 2 days of the conference. So throughout the conference as well, so we have professional workshops. So we'll seek expressions of interest from people to deliver, their services, whatever that may look like, whether it's financial literacy, social media, all those things. So then we're also going to put in some themed panels this year, just to elevate some of the women entrepreneurs within the province, and some more networking events. And we usually end off the conference with a keynote speaker. So this year, I don't know your audience, if they're in a particular era like me, we're going to welcome Erica M. So Erica is a Canadian media personality who started her career at a very early age as a Much Music VJ. Oh. So she's well known in the media industry, but like when she left Much Music, she started her own business. She's published books. She's very active in the women's entrepreneurship space. So we're very excited to welcome her to Newfoundland.
So this is a must-attend event.
Must-attend event. And if anyone is, apprehensive about going alone, do not, reach out to us anytime. If you have questions about that stuff. But, a lot of, women entrepreneurs are operating on their own, right? And that's why we exist, to build that community. So if, people want to, are not sure about coming, just reach out to someone like you. Right? You can tell them all about it.
So you have this thing that usually happens at the conference that I've come to love and absolutely love, like the speed dating bingo thing. Promise me, is that back this year? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I was like, networking is terrifying for the best of us. Yep. And so for those of us who are a little bit more apprehensive about it, I really love the way you guys have set it up.
Oh, the feedback is wonderful. Yeah, we're just going to make that even bigger and better.
Okay. And so for those who are looking now and saying, okay, so I have my business, I know NLOWE is a safe place. What are the ways to be, like I say I'm a member, but what does it actually mean to be a member of NLOWE? Yeah, so there's
most industry associations and, chambers of commerce and stuff, there are benefits to being a member, right? So with NLOWE, we have different tiers of membership. So what that looks like, you could get discounts on programming, there's member-only events, there's some, certain advertising space, you get a ticket to the conference. So there's different member benefits, but you don't have to be a member to work with our advisory team.
Okay.
So if you're still in your early stages, still trying to figure out what you're doing, and you're meeting with an advisor, and maybe it's not the right moment for you, but there's different benefits to being a member, but you're always a part of the community.
Okay. So as someone who's now been in the entrepreneurship space, happens to be the CEO of NLOWE, what's your favorite aspect of when you get to interact with members or those who show up to NLOWE events?
It's the energy that it creates when you get everybody together.
Okay.
It's and hearing everybody's feedback and the shared experiences is really inspiring, because like I said, a lot of people are navigating their business on their own. So having people in the same room sharing their stories and supporting one another, that is like the big motivation.
And so, you mentioned there were 2 key events that happened in the NLOWE calendar.
Yes.
So we've talked about the conference.
We're just on the heels of last year's, yeah. So in the fall, we have the Entrepreneurial of the Year Awards. So this is usually held in October, and we celebrate 8 women entrepreneurs in Newfoundland and Labrador in different categories, from Young Entrepreneur, Trendsetter, Trailblazer, and then an Entrepreneurial Excellence Award. So the nominations for that usually open up later in the spring, and that also is just a signature event that is so inspiring and motivates so many people, and it's just a wonderful way to honor women in Newfoundland and Labrador.
I got the pleasure of attending this year's Entrepreneur Awards, and it was a star-studded event, and I say star-studded because the women who run those businesses are A1 stars.
Yeah.
So as someone who's been in this industry for so long, I got you for one last minute, so I'm going to ask, for those who are mulling an idea over a business, who say maybe this could be a thing, maybe it couldn't, I don't know if this is going to be worth it, what would you like them to know?
Start talking to people. Don't keep it in, and what do you got to lose if you don't try? The supports are there, so start talking to people about it, and if you don't try, you'll never know.
Okay. I love that. You don't try, you'll never know. And just to check, there is no age limit to come to NLOWE, young,
no
old?
age limit, nope.
Okay, well, Carolyn, you and I could chat forever.
We could.
We have.
Yes. You can have me back anytime.
Oh, I'm glad you knew the question that was coming up. And so for those who don't know, when again is the conference?
April 10th and 11th at the St. John's Convention Center.
And all the info can be found on your website?
All info, yeah, and our socials.
Okay, well, Carolyn, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much.
And we'll be right back, everyone.
Your opinion matters, and we want to hear from you. Get in touch with us using our viewer feedback line, your direct connection to shaping the shows you love. It's easy. Just grab your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and take our quick survey. Share your thoughts, and let's make your viewing experience even better.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm now joined by Erin Snow, who is an author and business consultant. Erin, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here.
So you wrote a really cool book. It is called What Can You See from A to Z Under the Labrador Sea? What inspired such an amazing book?
I think it came from part of my culture of who I am. I'm an Indigenous woman from the south coast of Labrador. My father was a fisherman, and he was born and raised in a place called Spotted Islands.
Okay.
I guess I think I was about 2 years old when I first went to Spotted Islands. And whether I liked it or not, I went there every summer with my dad, who was a fisherman. My parents were split when I was younger.
Yeah.
So my mom sent me with my father in the summers, and whether I liked it or not, I was there. So I had wonderful memories there. And over the years, with life and having a child of my own, I didn't always get back to Spotted Islands, and same with my dad. So I wanted to create a special memory of Spotted Islands, incorporate some of the culture, and just have a great memory that brings joy to anybody who reads it.
So over the course of this book, you talk about some really cool things that you would see if you happen to be in Spotted Islands. And I think one of the images that gets stuck for me is this wonderful picture you have here of these little fishing hats on I don't even know how to describe. So you know the proper language for what it is, but I know it says R is for ringed seal, and the Indigenous word for that is natsik. Did I say it right?
Natsik, yeah.
Natsik. Okay, look at Laurabel practicing. But the seal is adorable, but there's a story about the little houses over here. So what is going on that recently made the news going on in Spotted Islands?
So The Spotted Island Wharf was built actually by DFO back during the inland fishery days. There's a huge history before that about Spotted Islands, but that's a stage. It's a community stage where inland fishermen would go and fish, and all the little the
individual little houses.
they were designated to certain fishers in the Spotted Island community. And over the years, you'll notice now that specific image was a recent picture before it recently got washed away, unfortunately, in a horrific storm on the south coast of Labrador. So the picture itself there was when some of the community members did get some funding and opportunities to maintain the stage over the years, and they've repainted it some colorful colors, similar probably to the
Jelly bean.
Right, it's very similar, but that wasn't always our traditional colors, but it was something that over the years just was done over the years, painted that color, but. So anyway, that stage was built for inland fishermen back in the, my dad was actually part of the community members who helped read the blueprints and built the stage. Him and a lot of other wonderful fishermen who some have passed now. But that stage recently, just in the last week, was washed away. We're still trying to discover and understand exactly to what extent. There's people have formed now a committee to try to rebuild and figure out what programs, if any, our community can fit into.
So if people happen to know of anything, they're able to contact you through your Facebook for your book and through your website if they're interested in, if they have ideas of ways to support the Spotted Island community in rebuilding.
Absolutely. So for the Spotted Island rebuild, there's a committee that I'm part of that was recently formed, and that's actually a different Facebook. So for that would be Spotted Island Incorporated, Spotted Island Inc. You can find a Facebook page, and also we do have an email, spottedislandinc@gmail.com, and there's a few of us who are actually working together to try to rebuild and see what, if any, government opportunities or communities or universities. There's a gentleman who's taking the lead on that, and I'm the co-chair, so Sean Howell is the chair, and I will be the co-chair on that committee, and there's several other wonderful community people who are just trying to do what they can. So right now is clean up and make sure the environment and everything is safe. People have reached out to the powers that be, and we're hoping that they will be able to support our small community and the community stage for its rebuild. It was really a central point for our community, and I always say it was something you always looked at when you first went into the community, and something you always almost said goodbye to on the way out until we meet again, right? Oh, so it's heartbreaking for so many people. So we're hoping something can be done to rebuild.
That's really sad to see, but I love that how your community is coming together in order to rebuild something that's become so iconic to the community. When I was looking through your book, I was so taken by all the different things that covered. Like A to Z is a lot of letters to cover in trying to capture all the things that you would find under the Labrador Sea. So if you look back to your childhood, what were the ones that you wanted to make sure you got? Like, what was it that helped you pick what letters went what?
So just based on memories, having fun with friends and people in the community, and my dad, and a lot of memories. So the stage, you'll find the stage in several of those images. I wanted to make sure the stage was in the book. And it was somewhere where as kids we played. I was younger when I was there. I was scared of the stage. I didn't want to fall off the stage. So, and a lot of kids weren't allowed to be, hanging around and playing on the stage for fear of the safety concerns.
Tripping hazard.
Right. But I also fished sculpins, they were called.
Okay.
Really ugly fish. But
the poor little fish, Erin.
That's what they were. Everybody would know it, whoever seen them. But so it was just something so special to our community, and a special place. Some of the other images, I wanted to make sure, every detail. So every image in that book, I had the final say. So it was a lot of my memories and intellectual copyrights and stuff like that, right? That all comes with it. But it was just a way to remember and bring some awareness and I guess respect to our South Coast and our Indigenous culture on the South Coast. But I wanted to make sure the mussels were right.
Okay.
I always often went, berry picking and stuff like that, but this particular book is what can you see in and around the Labrador Sea. So I couldn't,
to get your mussels,
really,
not your berries.
I had to put the mussels in there and not the berries. Now that might come at another time.
So now I'm going to be waiting for a book with berries.
Right.
So next time you're writing, there is a berry book that Laurabel needs to read.
So, yes.
So for you, it was really important. I really love that. As you go through the book, not only do you have the pictures, but you also have the Indigenous names for all of these words and all of these things. Why was it important for you to capture that aspect of your culture in this book?
Well, so many reasons, but the first thing that comes to mind is that when I was doing my business degree, as my child was younger, I was doing it part-time. I went back later in life and finished off my business degree. At the time, I was living in Labrador, in Happy Valley Goose Bay. So in Goose Bay, growing up, there wasn't always a lot of opportunities for university courses. Now we've had some major growth and development, obviously. But during the time, I seen a course that was offered, Indigenous Studies program. So that was something that was offered in my community. I didn't have to go away. I didn't have to leave my family. I didn't have to uproot, my whole life to get education, post-secondary education. So anyway, I took an Indigenous Studies program. It was offered in part with Memorial and at the time, I guess, Labrador campus. And during that program, I learned not only more about my own Indigenous culture and Canadian history and the Canadian Indigenous some of it horrible history. I learned about the just Indigenous histories overall. And part of that, it was a lot of, one of the courses and studies talked about the loss of language and the importance of language and how over the years many people have lost their language. And I just started, just try to find ways, even in my consulting business now that I have, or in my books now and potentially down the road, is to incorporate language, how important it is to incorporate language into my book, but also to spread awareness about it. So whether it's in a book or on a wall, or just to have that visual and understanding and that respect for people's languages. So that's kind of.
See, I really love that. There's a way for people, regardless of if they're Indigenous or if they're not, to learn a little bit more about Indigenous culture and Indigenous language through your works. So for everyone who is watching now, who's very curious and wants to know what they can find from A to Z under the Labrador Sea, where can they find your book?
So I also should just say as well, I recently took a linguistics course as well in Inuktitut myself,
Okay.
and I'm always just learning and learning a little bit more. And I've reached out to other people who recently wrote books about their own cultures and you know, incorporating their language. It's so beautiful to have that. So I just wanted, yeah, absolutely. So for this book, I have a Facebook page, and it's called Erin Snow -author. Also, through my consulting business, there's a section there now to purchase online. It's www.labradorconsultingservices.ca.
Erin, you and I could sit and chat about this book and about all the information you have about Indigenous culture, so I think we'll have to be back sometime soon.
Thanks, Laurabel. And one other thing I want to mention, sorry if I have time, is that I'm doing, there will be another book coming out in addition to this one here, so stay tuned for that. And this book, it's also available in stores. It is available at the Avalon Mall, Down Home Shop, and the Coles and Chapters on Kenmount here. In Happy Valley Goose Bay, it's available at Grenfell Variety Store and at the Labrador North Chamber Commerce Visitor Information Center, and you'll see a list of it on the Facebook. So there's lots of ways and opportunities for viewers to get the book.
Well, Erin, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so great.
And we'll be right back, everyone. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I always love getting to share time and space with you. I want to give a very special thank you to my guests for joining me. Thank you so much to Carolyn for sharing all that NLOWE has to offer. If you're interested in checking out their conference, make sure to check out their social media and their website. Also want to give a very big thank you to Erin Snow for sharing all the things she found underneath the Labrador Sea and talking about a little bit more about what goes on in Labrador and about her family. If you're interested in finding out more, make sure to check out her social media as well, and I'll see you all again next time.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
We want to hear from you. Provide feedback on this show or find out how you can get involved. Call, email us, or scan the QR code to take our quick survey.
For me, it all started here.
I do my best work here.
Scores! Oh my goodness! This guy's dangerous from here, here, and here.
We're watching history in the making here.
And our fans are up here. I'm here for it. It's all about what's up here and what's in here.
Sportsnet, here for hockey.
My mother said we had to leave home. The communists were going to take my father away. If my parents were afraid, they didn't show us. But we would never forget our escape from Vietnam. We were lost.
What was your job in Vietnam?
University professor.
We had no home.
Do you have any family in Canada?
No, sir.
Nobody wanted us.
Welcome to Canada.
Canada chose us.
Canadians open their borders, their homes, and their hearts to more than 100,000 refugees fleeing persecution after the Vietnam War.
We were home.
This fall on Rogers TV, we'll be airing your RNC compassion.